I see what she's trying to do, but her as a light-skinned woman, you're the wrong messenger, and you should not be speaking for dark-skinned women in any type of negative way, because you are not dark-skinned. But you as a light-skinned woman are using a dark-skinned woman's comments to further push your narrative of basically dark-skinned women using a woe is me narrative, and that's just not okay. Tried a new intro, it didn't work. What up everybody? I am the Mademoiselle and this is my channel, and today we are going to be reacting to a video that you guys sent me. Now I'm not going to link this particular video down below because this looks like it comes from a smaller creator, and every single time I react to a smaller creator, people get upset because they claim that the mafia is coming for them or whatever and it's making them want to harm themselves and all that. Listen, I find this video, you find it, but you ain't find it for me, okay? Honestly, I'm not really sure what this video is about. I tried to skip through it, still couldn't figure it out without actually watching it, and as you guys know, I do not watch any video that I react to. Anything that I react to on this channel is a pure organic reaction. Just a fair warning, the voice of this person is extremely annoying, okay? Extremely annoying, and yeah, fair warning. Fair warning. Make sure you guys head to the description or in the pinned comment down below in order to get your merchandise. If you have not solidified your position in the mafia, make sure you do that by heading down to the description or in the pinned comment down below and copying some merch. I have sales all the time. Make sure you follow me on Instagram to get those coupon codes, okay?
Hello everyone, it's your girl Bella Pink, and today I'm gonna do a video on the beautiful Sumpter, and she is
so beautiful.
She is a very beautiful, dark-skinned woman.
She really
and
is.
At first I was very unsure about what my stance was going to be on her, because I thought that even though this was a very beautiful woman, beautiful dark-skinned woman who was in shape, I thought she would still try to use the woe is me narrative, and I was shockingly surprised to say that this woman is very confident,
but the fact that she came swinging out the gate, talking about something.
Oh well, she's a dark-skinned woman in shape, and I'm surprised she didn't come out with the woe is me narrative.
Is that what y'all think about dark-skinned women? Y'all think that they just be coming out here with the woe is me narrative? If you have not been here before, I'm a proud advocate of do the damn thing. Don't worry about what anyone has to say about you. Don't worry about what anyone thinks about you. Don't worry about any opportunities that have not been given to you, because whatever is meant to be will be. I'm a firm believer of you are definitely, okay, 100% in charge of what you do. You are not in charge and you cannot control what happens to you. However, in terms of what you do with your life and where you go and how you react to what happens to you is what's important. I've always said that, but at the same time, it is not okay to discredit other people's opinions and try to diminish other people's opinions by saying that they're using a woe is me narrative to describe what they've been through. At the end of the day, whether you experienced it as a dark-skinned woman, a light-skinned woman, whatever, whether you experience something as a black person or not, does not in turn give you the opportunity to diminish other people's experiences. This is why, and I'm about to say this because I already know where this video is about to go, this is why I don't discredit light-skinned people and their problems as well. I'm not light-skinned. I'm lighter, even though I got a serious tan, as y'all can see, very serious tan. I don't know what to do with this. Lighter on the spectrum, but I'm not like dark. I'm not light, like I'm brown. I've always considered myself brown. There are people who see me as lighter. There's people that see me as darker. Who cares? Whatever. I consider myself as brown. Nonetheless, I would never sit there and try to say light-skinned people don't have no problems. I would never sit there and be like, oh, light-skinned people don't go through anything. I'm very, very sure they go through their own special set of issues, and I do not believe anyone's issues should be compared. I think it's wrong to sit there and try to tell people that they don't have experiences or are bitching and complaining about something that they shouldn't be complaining about. And I don't care if that comes from a light-skinned person or a dark-skinned person. It is not okay to discredit other people's opinions, especially if you cannot relate to them.
And I stumbled on some old interviews of her talking about her experience growing up. Because growing up, rarely was her skin tone made a big deal out of. It was an interview that she did with Oprah like 5 years ago, but now people are talking about it now because she's on Ethnicity. In the interview, I will definitely link it below. I will have it as a pinned comment because I want everyone to see how this woman's experience is side-eyed by everyone in the audience, okay? Peep Oprah's facial expression expression. As Tika Sumpter says, that colorism was not really a big thing for her growing up. She knew she was beautiful. She had a dark-skinned dad who was so happy because he had, I think he had like 4 or 5 light-skinned daughters. I know he was so happy because he had so many light-skinned daughters, and when he got Tika Sumpter, he was like, finally, someone that looks like me. And he was so happy, and
I like that.
She grew up being showered with love. And
I like that.
Positive affirmation.
What's the problem with that?
A confident, healthy, dark-skinned woman who's gone on to become a successful actress, clearly, and just a look at how some people come at her for her experience, okay? The woman said, okay, she was head of her class. She was on, like, the cheerleading team. She was doing amazing growing up, and a Dusty who didn't like a dark-skinned woman was the furthest thing from her mind. And so I think we can all learn something from Tika Sumpter. We can all benefit from what she's saying, okay? Because I'm just so sick and tired of the narrative. And like, at this point, I'm like, you can feel about yourself how you feel. You think you're bottom of the barrel, you are. You think you're chosen last, you are. Like, at this point, as a light-skinned and biracial people, we don't have time to be feeding the egos of people who don't want to look around and see that the only person holding them back is themselves.
I just have to address this. I was gonna try to leave it out of this, but why is it that people who love to talk shit on YouTube love to disguise their voice like this? If you're gonna talk your shit, talk your shit. Show your face, show your voice, talk your shit. Don't be sitting here hiding behind some filter, because this is not her real voice. Nobody fucking talks like this. This is definitely a filter. And if it's not, this is definitely a filter. So that's one. I agree to an extent. Now, I have said this before, but just in case you missed it, I had quite a few dark-skinned friends. A lot of my friends are actually dark-skinned. And I make a lot of videos dealing with colorism, and a lot of them have come to me after watching my videos saying that they never really noticed that they experienced colorism until they watch my videos, while a good collection of them said they never experienced colorism ever. And these are dark-skinned people, like darker than Tika, on some like Lapita skin tone type stuff. And they say they have never experienced colorism. Male, female, Caribbean, African American. I have a lot of dark-skinned friends that will tell you I have never experienced colorism a day in my life. Now, am I about to sit there and be like, yes, you have, you just didn't notice it, Now, like I said, some people have come to me after watching me and they've been like, okay, damn, I never noticed that was colorism, that's fucked up, and then moved along. Just like I never noticed that technically I've been sexually assaulted till, you know, people actually told me what sexual assault was. I'm like, oh crap, I've been sexually assaulted. But even after knowing it, will they go around like, oh yeah, I've experienced colorism? No, because they never perceived it that way at the time. Same thing as me. I'm not about to go around and be like, oh my god, I'm a victim of sexual assault. Didn't see it that way. It is what it is, you know? You can't force an opinion onto someone. You cannot make someone feel what it is that they did not go through. In retrospect, it is important to acknowledge that people like you have gone through different experiences, and certain experiences have torn them down and made them not confident enough to be who it is that they are. I'm not a fan of how she's like, oh well, we don't have time to be worrying about the next person that doesn't like a dark-skinned person. Now this is the thing, it took me a long time to realize this. Whether I was talking about education, whether I was talking about opportunities, whether I was talking about financials, whatever the case may be, it took me a long time to realize that not everyone is like you, not everyone is like me. Not everyone has the ability to push themselves in a positive direction when they are constantly being told that they're less than. It does bother me and annoys the hell out of me when I sit here and talk about colorism all day, talk about how beautiful you are, talk about, really? Now y'all wanna do this? It annoys me when I sit here and talk about how beautiful black women are, how beautiful dark-skinned women are, how powerful we are, and I still have people send me paragraphs through email about how much they hate themselves and how they want to commit suicide because they're dark-skinned. At that point, I talk about this all the time. What do you want me to do about it? You have to take the steps for you. You have to be the voice of reason for you. It don't matter if your parents are trash. It don't matter if you don't have any type of inspiration. It doesn't matter if no one was there for you, no one talked to you. You have to be that for yourself. And when you realize that, your life will get better. You have to be able to look within you and see that you are worthy. It don't matter how many compliments you get. It don't matter how many boys like you. It don't matter how loose your hair is, how light your skin is. If you as a person does not know your worth, if you do not love you for you, if you think that you are less than, you will always be viewed as less than. That's just the way it is. But at the same time, I have to recognize, and I do recognize, that not everyone acts like me, not everyone is as confident as me, and it is a growing process. This just comes off a little dismissive, and I guess that's why a lot of people saw Tika as being, I guess, dismissive when she was talking about this on the Oprah Winfrey show, because it's like, okay, well, but a lot of us did go through this. Are you just trying to say it's our fault? Which I feel like a lot of us, like when people talk about experiences that are not our experiences, we tend to get offended, which isn't really okay, but I'm gonna listen to the rest that she has to say. I'm gonna try to stop pausing so much because it's a long video.
And I really encourage you guys to watch the video. Just listen how this confident dark-skinned woman speaks about herself, okay? You don't have to shower her with compliments for her to feel like she is worth something. And I think we can all learn something from that. Yes, a compliment is nice every now and then, but like a lot of ways that some of these dark-skinned people go about colorism, it's just like a game of negativity, okay? Look how they talk about themselves. And I like to bring attention to how they talk about themselves because that's where all the answers lie. Have you ever met a negative person? No matter what positivity you met them with, they had something negative in response. It's a beautiful day outside. It's too hot. I'm so excited we're going to the beach. It's too many people at the beach. I love your hair today. I hate it. Like, have you ever met one of those negative people? I feel like some of the people using colorism, they don't want to admit that it's not just the skin tone that is putting people off, okay? And I know people are gonna be like, yeah, well, you're just a light-skinned woman. Of course you're gonna say that. Tika Sumpter even said it, okay? Her experience basically highlights that to raise healthy, self-loving children, you should have two active parents involved. So, like, I don't understand how people in the comments, because the colorism channels are talking about it now, you guys, you know, Tika Sumpter, her pretty privilege is stopping her from knowing what true colorism is. And I'm like, are we just pulling anything out of our bones now to prove an argument? Because pretty privilege sounds like some bullcrap. Because I'm not saying that
Wait, let me see what she's about to say right there. Hold up.
Pretty privilege doesn't exist, but I'm like, why does it only exist when a dark-skinned woman is saying how she was not held back by colorism? Notice, it's always when a slim, beautiful, confident, dark-skinned woman speaks up and says, yeah, like, I mean, colorism is a thing, but it didn't affect me. Okay, I love myself. I grew up, and, you know, I was flexing in my complexion. It's like they hate those types of women because they make it so hard to do the victim narrative, and I love it because I have really grown to like Tika Sumpter. I recently followed her on Instagram.
Alright, anyhow. It's weird because I see what she's trying to do, but her as a light-skinned woman, which I'm sure that's what she is because that's kind of what she already basically said, you're the wrong messenger and you should not be speaking for dark-skinned women in any type of negative way because you are not dark-skinned. Even if you were brown-skinned, I would give you a pass because at least you're on the darker spectrum of the black side, right? But you as a light-skinned woman are using a dark-skinned woman's comments to further push your narrative of basically dark-skinned woman using a woe is me narrative. And that's just not okay. Don't know how old this girl is, don't know anything about her, but it's just, I don't understand why people do shit like that. Like, that's why there's certain things I don't do. Like, there's certain videos I would like to do, but it's like, that's not my place, that's not my job, and I don't want to offend people, right? Like, I personally believe that light-skinned people go through colorism, and I probably made like 1 or maybe 2 videos and probably mention it here and there, but I'm not a light-skinned person. If anything, I've experienced it more on the dark side, so I lean more towards the dark-skinned person, you know? I have mostly dark-skinned people in my family, dark-skinned friends, so I lean towards that side. But you, as a light-skinned person who leans toward the lighter side, not your place to make these types of comments. I do agree that pretty privilege is something that is always thrown on pretty dark-skinned women, which kind of bothers me. Pretty privilege is definitely a thing though. I definitely benefit from pretty privilege, I ain't gonna lie. There's a lot of times when people are like, oh, I'll give you this at a discount because you're pretty, or, you know, you lucky you're pretty, or da-da-da. Definitely I benefit from it before. I do agree that I don't like how people will be like, oh, well, no, she lying, she this, she that. If she didn't go through this, if she didn't hear she pretty for a dark-skinned girl, she lying. Why she have to be lying? I literally have dark-skinned friends who say that they've never heard this before. And even at that, if they have, because I have friends that will tell me, nope, never heard that. And I have friends that would be like, oh yeah, I didn't think anything of it. Can't force someone to have a negative experience. If you took it that way, fine, but if they didn't, they didn't.
She lives a very fun life. She has a light-skinned daughter who she clearly spoils and treats very well. I can tell her daughter's gonna grow up to be really confident. And on top of that, she has a bunch of light-skinned family members. And so this is what I mean when I'm happy that there are some dark-skinned women out here, because it doesn't make sense for Tika Sumpter to have grown up with all these light-skinned women, and she still loves them, and they did not affect her self-esteem at all. And so I don't think colorism CRYERS think about how dark-skinned people also have lighter-skinned family members, because people are like, oh, she's clearly doing this for her mixed child. She's just toning down how hard it was for her because of her mixed child. And I'm like, why are you guys trying to throw struggle on her name? Why are you guys trying to push that narrative?
I'm sorry, colorism CRYERS, I cannot get over that. Colorism CRYERS. Colorism CRYERS. And this is why dark-skinned women will never stop crying about colorism because of comments like this. Why is it that people speak about their experiences and they're giving names that are just disrespectful, rude, and discredit them in every way, shape, or form? I don't understand. Everyone else can talk about their issues, but when it comes to a dark-skinned woman, when it comes to a black person, it's always given some shitty-ass name. People are cracking up, people making jokes, making memes. Colorism CRYERS. Why? That just pissed me off. Like, that just really made me mad, because it's like, why? At the end of the day, that's someone's experience. If they want to share it with the world, they want to share it with the world. Because at the end of the day, whether you experienced it, you understand it or not, someone else may be going through that. You want to be able to relate to someone. They may want to know what that person did to overcome this or is doing to overcome this. It's actually downright disrespectful to go turn around and call someone a colorism crier because they're talking about their experience.
Narrative and to her experience. Like, let people live. And another thing is just how heated a lot of people are because they feel like it's these types of women, like I said, the Petty Pages, the Cindy Blacks, and now let's add the Tina Sumpters of the world who they don't let anything hold them back. And these type of dark-skinned women clearly are dangerous to people who are so quick to cry colorism because these women have paved the way for themselves, okay? They have found love. They have had beautiful children, and they are still, rising up in ranks and achieving their dreams. So I just wanted to point this out because lately I have noticed that a lot of times we're just going in a circle. I know some dark-skinned people come to this page and they say, like, I like this page, but you don't understand what we go through. We're chosen last. We're not seen as good as you. And I'm like, the problem starts there. Look at your comment. Just read it over and over to yourselves. You said you're chosen last. You said you can't find a man. You said that light-skinned girl one-upped you, okay? So it's like, really pay attention to your words, because I'm gonna be honest, because I grew up with my dark-skinned cousins, and sometimes I have this problem, because as a light-skinned person, I was bullied too. I was bullied like my dark-skinned cousins, and I noticed that our mentalities to the bullying was very different, which is why I think even though I was bullied just as much, or if not more than them, because there came a period where, like, I don't remember my dark-skinned cousins being picked on. I'm gonna be honest. But again, I'm not trying to assume stories, so I'm gonna just say that I noticed with me, I tried not to absorb what was happening. For example, if someone brought up my skin tone, because let's not act like only dark skin is the only skin tone made fun of in the black community. Okay, when I was growing up and people would call me pink-colored or a mutt, even though I'm a full black woman,
I remember that.
or they would call me
I had friends that would get to that.
which is offensive to someone that's not white. What I would do, I would usually turn my attention away from those people. Okay, clearly, if someone is physically abusing you or harassing you, please go get help. Okay, if you're in an environment where teachers are allowing this behavior, your first bet should be to get out. And again, it's very unfortunate that some kids are born into situations they can't get out of. But my thing is, as someone who grew up in a very abusive environment with, lack of authority, I was still able to come out of it pretty confident. And I think it was because...
Okay, before she gets into the because, I'm gonna have to let anyone who thinks like this, I'm gonna have to put y'all on, right? I'm gonna have to start it off with this. Like I said earlier, yes, light-skinned people do experience colorism, bullying, and all that. I had a couple of my light-skinned friends get called a albino hippopotamus. I've had them called rotten milk one time. There was another one of my friends that was called, highlighter, sand, Big Bird. That was one. Oh my God, Big Bird. There's hurtful things, and regardless of I know there's gonna be people like, oh well, you can't compare that to being called a gorilla or a monkey. At the end of the day, hurtful is hurtful. Period. Bullying is bullying. However, in this case, there's a difference between how black people internalize things and how white people internalize things, and then down to that there's a difference between how people of different ethnicities internalize things. In this case, we're going to talk about black people in the light skin versus dark skin. From the start, from the get, in most cases, not all. Most cases, again, not all. I have to say it again. In most cases, not all. Dark skinned people are not regarded as the prize. They are not always regarded as amazing or beautiful. A lot of times, a lot of dark skinned people grow up with the notion of, oh, you're too dark. Oh, you need to get lighter. Oh my God, why you look like that? Now, a lot of light skin, again, not all, most, again, not all, most, are brought up with the, oh, you're so beautiful, oh, your hair is this, you know? And again, this is not just skin, this is hair, you know, looser texture hair, lighter skin, da. Usually that's more glorified. And a lot of that starts in the home. Whatever's going on in your home is what you're going to push out into the world. If your parents are telling you that you are beautiful, if your parents are telling you that you are amazing, right? They don't show any negativity towards you based off your skin color. You are in turn going to lead the world with a positive note. You know, you're going to be more confident and you're gonna radiate that confidence. So when someone bullies you, it's gonna bounce off, which I guess happens to a lot of the dark skinned people I know, and I guess Tika, right? Because Tika's like, I ain't never experienced that. My family loved me, case closed. Now in turn, when you see these colorism criers, right? Talking about how they had these problems and how, you know, they were bullied and stuff, it may come off as they're crying about it and they're being this, that, and the third, when in actuality, that most likely started in their home. Their parents probably came at them, their siblings probably came at them, their friends in school, other family members probably came at them. So now for them, it is already internalized when they go out into the world that being dark is bad. So if you already come from a home where they do not regard you as amazing, as beautiful, as confident, and they're trying to say that your skin is dirty, it's too dark, it's ugly, your hair is nappy, your hair is this, your hair is that, this, that, and the third. If they're coming at you and they're coming at your physical appearance or anything else about you that you genuinely cannot change, what do you think is gonna happen when you go and get bullied? We need to be real here. Seriously. I understand people are tired of hearing everyone talk about colorism and racism and all of that. Trust me. I don't believe a lot of the stuff that people think is colorist or racist is colorist or racist. Okay, if this is not your first time here, you would know I'm literally the last person to call colorism, to call racism on something. Very rare do I do that. Usually I'll be like, nah, that's messed up, but you'll never really see me be like, nope, that's colorist. Oh, no, that. There's a lot of things that people just be saying, and I'm like, all right, nah, I don't see it. And that's just me, that's my personal opinion. But at the same time, this right here is just not it. It's not it, because you need to recognize whether you grew up with light-skinned people, dark-skinned people or not. You seen what went on with them every moment of the day and all of that extra stuff, then you're not gonna be able to sit there and say that, oh well, they experienced this while I experienced that, I took it this way, they took it that way. That's a no-no. That's a no-no. You don't know their experience. Yeah, don't ever invalidate people's experiences, bro. Like, whether it's a good or a bad one. I don't like how people are trying to say Tika Sumpter is lying. I don't like how people, like this girl that made this video, is sitting here trying to say that, you know, dark-skinned people are colors and criers. I just don't. Like, I'm not,
Because of my mentality, I usually thought the people trying to tear me down, I thought they needed mental health. Because I'm just like, there's no way someone is this unhappy and miserable and they get joy out of seeing me unhappy. And so it kind of helps to have that sort of viewpoint where the people coming at you, they are the ones that are mentally challenged. They clearly need help. There's something in them. And I get that's not gonna work all the time, but it's something, okay? Because if people are coming at you and they're telling you, because this is crazy to me, if people are coming and telling dark-skinned women that they're bottom of the barrel, that they're chosen last, and they're coming and telling you these things, you need to get away from those people. You need to separate yourself and, like, I get it, sometimes we're stuck in life, but at some point, when does being stuck just become you being complacent in the abuse? And I just really want people to think about this. Women like her, what I like about them is that they overcome, and more than that, they still have their confidence. And I get it, not everyone, a monolith, not everyone's going to be able to mentally withstand certain things, but that's why I encourage people to get out and get far away. Like when I would be bullied, I noticed that it mostly took place in school. I would see my bullies outside of school and they wouldn't say anything to me. And so there came a point where I started to realize even bullies, like they have places where they don't feel safe to be bullies. And so that's what I mean, like figure out your situation, because sometimes when, you know, some dark-skinned women are like, you don't understand. We're chosen last, we're bottom of the barrel, society hates us, men hit us, and it's like, me. And so that's the thing I have on it, because even the light-skinned woman I knew growing up, because like I said, where I was from, it was pretty diverse, brown, black, light, and no one was spared from the bullying. But what I noticed is that my darker peers took the bullying way more personal. And that's the thing. They hate when light-skinned people speak up, but we were there with you getting bullied. We were watching you get bullied, because after they bullied you, they came over to us. And so that's what I don't understand. Like, some of us were all in situations, light, brown, dark.
Not the same, bro. Not the same. People have called me Frederick Douglass. People have called me Aunt Jemima. People have called me. But you know what's funny? I don't even take it as an insult now, because it's like, these are impeccable people who did so much for the world. And usually that it would be people coming at my hair. In terms of my skin tone, barely anyone really came for my skin tone, but I did have some occurrences where, you know, boys would kick me out the playground because I wasn't light enough, or, you know, just little stuff like that. And I could say, I mean, I guess it internally affected me, but it wasn't like, oh my God, I hate my life, I'm ugly, because I've always been way too conceited to think I was ugly. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I ain't never been ugly, ain't never gonna be ugly, and can't nobody tell me different. Period. I have my insecure moments, but that's just me, that's been instilled in me. And that's just the way it is. No one ever really sat there and called me ugly. There's been people that have made fun of certain features, certain clothes, maybe my weight when I was like a lot heavier and stuff like that, but no one in their life could ever say I was ugly. Ever. So I do believe that a lot of that is from my environment and how I grew up. Now, with that being said, you can't now go to this type of situation and be like, okay, well, they took it harder than me. They took it deeper. I mean, what do you expect? If people are calling you ugly, if people are saying you're less than, if people are saying you're bottom of the barrel, if people are constantly disrespecting you, both in the public eye, in person, on social media, what do you think? Why do people not understand basic psychology? Like, yeah, I understand that at some point you do need to get yourself out of a situation. I do agree with that, because that's always my advice to people when they're like, oh, my boyfriend this, or my parents that, nigga, leave. If you're old enough, leave. Like, why are you still there? Why are you in that situation? Get a job, bounce, leave. Go to school, bounce, leave. You know, get your life together, open your own door, make your own door, and leave. I definitely agree with that. But at the same time, I have to agree that for some people it is harder. But I do agree to an extent. If you become complacent, it's your fault. If you let people stop you from doing shit, definitely your fault. Because yes, okay. Let's put this in perspective, right? They make fun of you, they hate you, they beat you, they abuse you, they don't give you opportunities. That's sad. Now what? Think about it. Before you comment down below. What do you do after that? Do you dust yourself off and try again? Or do you sit there, keep bitching and complaining? Because when you sit there and complain, it's not gonna change, it's gonna keep happening. You're not doing anything for yourself. They're not gonna change. There's always going to, this is the thing, right? Especially with this new movement, people swear up and down this is gonna change people, right? No, it's just gonna make people do things more subtly. It's just gonna make people do things behind the scenes. It's just gonna make people be ancient people more carefully. I'm gonna tell you this right now, just in case you had some hope. Colorism will never end, racism will never end, sexism will never end. None of this will ever end. It will get better in the public eye, but it ain't gonna end. There's always going to be caca people in the world. Deal with it. There's always going to be people that mistreat you because of the color of your skin, the texture of your hair, where you come from, who you are as a person, your sexual orientation. There's always going to be people like that. Get over it. Now, like, this is with every situation in life, y'all. Every single situation. Oh my God, I got fired from my job and I think it was because I was black. Damn, that's fucked up. You gonna sue? No, I ain't got the time, I ain't got the money. Okay, what are you gonna do now? Damn, I'm tired of this. What are you gonna do now? People are gonna be shitty people. You can't get rid of shitty people. Maybe in the next 500 years. Maybe your great grandkids can figure it out. But right now, we not at that place. We're not. I hope we get there, but we're not. Shitty people are shitty people. That's just what it is. You cannot go about your life complaining, bitching, and crying over shitty people, because they're never gonna go anywhere. You have to find a way at this point to see how you're going to move on. They didn't give you that job because you were black. Fine, next job. They kicked you out of your apartment because you were Asian. Fine, find a new apartment. Is it fucked up? Yes, but what are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? The only choice you have is to move on, keep pushing, do better, find other opportunities. It's the only option you have.
dark getting bullied. But I just noticed that it's always like my darker peers who can't let it go. They tell us to let it go. So what if they cut your hair in school? You grow it back. It's just as long. So what if they made fun of your light skin, calling you piss colored and you know a mutt, like something that's not even human? And it's like, if I can get over these things, you can get over that one guy who called you ugly, okay? And so that's my thing. If we're not gonna meet light skinned women with empathy, and then you want us to meet dark skinned women with empathy, what world are you living in? Okay, because when people aren't showing empathy,
I give her that.
End up not showing empathy. When you don't show empathy to someone, they're not gonna just show you empathy. And so I got this video just to highlight how Tika Sumpter, I really believe there are more dark skinned women out there like her. I just think they're overshadowed by the movement, and to push the movement, you have to push that struggle narrative, that bottom of the barrel narrative, that I'm chosen last no matter how beautiful I am, a mediocre light-skinned chick to come in and take my place narrative. Like, we need to get away from that, because as far as I'm concerned, beautiful women, they have it easier if they know their power. Because pretty privilege can only exist to someone who knows they're pretty and they're using that power. Because I see pretty women get played every day. I see pretty women get dogged out every day. I see pretty women living in poverty every day. I see pretty women being trapped having some man's baby and getting abandoned every day. Okay?
I do too.
Skin tone means nothing, because if you're pretty and you don't know what to do with that pretty and you don't feel pretty, are you really experiencing pretty privilege? And I'm gonna need some of these colorism crybabies to ask themselves that. Instead of throwing these labels around, like featureism, texturism, pretty privilege, weight skinny privilege. And it's like, one, not everyone with these privileges you speak of even know that they have them.
That's true.
You just see how people can assume someone loves themselves just based off of how they look. You know, we just assume a light-skinned chick loves herself because she has light skin, but we assume someone as beautiful as Tika Sumpter doesn't know what she's talking about and she just has pretty privilege. So that's
I give her that.
And I just want to end this video on a message, because I know I was talking to anonymous black man and light skin motivation about this. Lately, we've been sprinkling, you know, some of the dark skinned people who come to our channel with their insecurities. We've been, you know, sprinkling all this motivation and affirmation onto them, but their opinions usually don't change. Okay, like you tell them about 30 dark-skinned successful women who they can aspire to be like, and they start huffing and puffing and say, well, I don't like them, I still feel this way. You give them 100 more, and they still feel bad about themselves. So at this point, I'm like, if we're pointing out the successful dark-skinned women that you guys say that you don't have representation for, you down them, you accuse them of having pretty privilege, skinny privilege, you accuse them of being too light-skin identified. Like it's Tika Sumpter's fault that she grew up in a family of light-skinned people and that. Like, you guys need to have compassion and empathy, because it's gonna be really hard for Tika Sumpter to want to fight and stand by you guys if every time she shares her experience, which wasn't like your experience, you want to slam her, you want to say, you know, you're just one of the ones that they like. You're fit, you have long hair, you're beautiful, and it's like, I don't get it, but this video is longer than it needs to be. I was literally supposed to be on 5 minutes, guys.
Okay, so like I said, valid points, absolutely valid points, absolutely the wrong messenger. Nobody's about to listen to that shit. If I'm a dark-skinned girl and I don't feel confident about myself, I've been bullied all my life, and I feel like I'm less than, this video is not going to help me. Period. It's just not. There's a way to speak and there's a way to translate certain messages, right? Like, this should have been not that. This was not a good way to translate this message, because, like, again, she's light skinned, and again, she just used a dark skinned message, a dark skinned person's story, one story at that, who's technically not even the majority, to push her narrative of colorism criers, and that's just not okay. I do agree that there are too many channels out there that are way too toxic when it comes to the whole propaganda of pushing the whole colorism against all dark skinned women thing, because not all dark skinned women have gone through that, not all black people have gone through that, and that's the same thing for racism or anything else. I know a lot of black people who have never been through racism, okay? They've never experienced it. Am I about to sit there and be like, yes, you have, you just don't? No. At the end of the day, someone's experience is someone's experience. You cannot take that away from them. Therefore, I believe on all sides, everyone just needs to respect one another and try to understand where everyone is coming from, and not just down them and disrespect them and dismiss their issues just because you do not understand it, or because you went along the same thing with someone or similar things against someone side by side. At the end of the day, you are not them, they are not you, and you guys cannot really relate, but you can at least try to empathize with each other's issues. And I believe that's the issue that's going on here. She absolutely has no idea what she's talking about. She's basing this off of certain people and based off of her experience, which It's okay because that's how a lot of people think. That's how a lot of people are. But you need to be able to open your mind. Open your mind to the idea that some people did not experience that. Open your mind to the fact that a lot of people experience different things, whether they grew up in the same town or not, whether they grew up in the same family or not, whatever the case may be. With that being said, let me know what you think about this video down in the comment section below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Why or why not? Also, make sure you head down to the description or in the pinned comment down below to get your merchandise and schedule your consultation with Media Hustle today. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, do all that, and I'm gonna see y'all next time.